everyone, Kate from Crocoblock is here and welcome to our new tutorial. Just like I promised you in the JetEngine 2.3 update video, and if you haven't checked it out yet guys, you're totally welcome to do so. Today we're gonna forget about all the mess that is happening in the world right now and dive deep into the lovely Maps Listings module. Let's get started. So, Maps Listings is a new functionality implemented in JetEngine plugin, and it gives you the possibility to enrich your website with the dynamic map. Yes guys, you got it right, dynamic map. It allows you to display the content, dynamic content from your posts and metafields using the Map Listing Widget. And just like any other widget, it can be customized according to your preferences. And even more, it is fully compatible with the JetSmartFilters plugin, which means that you can filter the map's content using our Crocoblock filter widgets. Pretty cool, huh? So let's see what exactly we're going to do today. So first of all, we will set up the Maps module settings. Second, we will create a custom post type with metafields. Third, we will add and adjust the taxonomies for this CPT. Then we'll go ahead and build a listing item for the map from scratch using our dynamic widgets. After that, we'll apply our map listing widget to the required page and go through the customization settings. And last but not the least, we will create and add smart filters to the same page and check how they work in combo with map listing. So by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to set up, customize, and use Maps Listings feature at its best. So guys, the first thing we need to do is to enable this module in the JetEngine dashboard. Let's go to JetEngine, click on JetEngine. Here, as you can see, we have available modules. So let's tick on Maps Listings and save the changes. Great! Now let's have a look at the Maps settings. The first thing we can see here is the field for the Google Maps API key. I have mine entered here already, but guys, if you don't know how to get it, simply click on the link over here and check out our video tutorial. Now, once you enter the API key into this field, you can proceed further. The next option gives you the possibility to disable Google Maps API JS file. It has to be toggled on if you already have a map created with the JetElements plugin, for example, on the same page. Because the loading of two maps libraries on the page at once will cause an error. So please make sure to enable this option if you have more than one map on the page. Okay, so also, over here, you can preload coordinates by address. This is a very useful and important setting for optimization of your website. This option determines coordinates of the location entered in the meta field right at the time of saving the post, and it keeps them stored permanently in the post metadata. Guys, please pay attention that only JetEngine metafields can be preloaded. So over here in the metafields to preload, you can set the metafields list which contains addresses to preload. Also, you can get a single address from multiple fields. So let's say you have two metafields, one for the city and another one for the state, and you would like to use both of them in the address field. For instance, I know for sure there are a lot of cities in the US with the same names in different states, so to make your map listings more accurate, you can use this trick. Simply combine these field names together using the plus sign. So, for example, _city plus _state. Pretty simple. And guys, this format is the same for the preload option here in the JetEngine settings and for the widget option as well in Elementor page builder. And also, just so you know, it works straight with the human readable address, and then it converts it into the latitude and longitude value with geocoding API, which, by the way, has to be enabled for your Google Maps API, so please pay attention to that. To create the content for our dynamic map, first of all, we have to have a custom post type with metafields and obviously the post itself. So right now, let's quickly go over the process of creating a custom post type using our JetEngine plugin. And guys, if you already know how to do this, you can simply click on the timestamp in the description down below and proceed further. And if not, you're totally welcome to stay with me for these couple of minutes. So let's click on JetEngine, Post Type, Add New. Fill in the post type name. Let it be Properties, because my idea is to create a post type for the properties for rent. Okay, I'll not customize the labels to save your time, but please be aware that you have this option available and you can set it up and use it to your tastes and needs. So let's open Advanced Settings tab and briefly go over some of the fields. All of these basically will stay the same in my case, but you can surely toggle off some options that you don't need. So we have the rewrite option toggled on. Let's add a rewrite slug to it as well to customize our permalink. Now we do want to have the archives in this post type, so we'll leave this option enabled. We can change the menu icon to a more suitable one. So let's see. I'll use the building one. Okay, good. And here at the bottom, let's select the features for the properties post. So title and editor will stay the same, but I'd like to add a thumbnail, featured image, and an author to it as well. Okay, good. Now let's proceed to the fun part. Let's create metafields. So the first one will be the address, and this one we will need for sure because our future map needs to know where the properties are located, right? So let's add the label, address, and metafield name, _address. And guys, please remember that it has to match the one that we've set up in the metafields to preload option in the JetEngine Maps settings, okay? So let's make it required and proceed to the next one. I want to add the rating of the properties as well. So for that, let's enter the label rating and metafield _rating. Good. Now let's add a couple of other fields for the rooms, baths, beds, guests, and size of the property. Okay guys, so since the properties will be rented, I need to add check-in and check-out time as well. Enter the label check-in time, enter the field name, and in the field type, we need to choose time. Okay, and right now let's repeat the same procedure for the checkout time as well. Okay, great. So right now I also want to add a field for the video tour, so my site visitors could have a possibility to check out videos. So let's enter the label, video tour URL, and also enter the field name. Okay, great. So what else do we need to add? That's right, the gallery. So we could add the photos of the properties and our visitors could see the actual pictures of the property that they want to rent. Okay, great. So guys, don't worry, we're almost done with the metafields. So right now I'd like to add another field for the amenities as well. So let's enter the label amenities, field name, and in the field type, let's choose the checkbox. Okay, wonderful. And as you can see, right now we can add the field options. So before that, let's enable Allow Custom to have the possibility to add the custom values from the post editing page and click Save Custom to add these values straight to the options list in our CPT. And right now, let's add a new field option. I'll add one together with you, and then I'll speed up the process to save your time because the procedure here is 100% the same. So let's add the Wi-Fi value, label Wi-Fi as well, and toggle it as checked. Okie dokie. Now we can toggle Save as Array option on to make the checked value store as a plain PHP array. Okay, wonderful. And the last one, let's add the excerpt for our properties post. So enter the label, field name, and in the field type, let's choose text area. Yay guys, we did it! So here in the admin columns, let's add a column for the room, for example, to show their quantity right away once we open the CPT. Enter the title, rooms. In the type, we need to select meta value and enter the field name, which will be _rooms. So set the column order, for example, 2, and toggle is sortable on. Okay, great. So now we can click Add Post Type, and there we go. We have our CPT created. So guys, this wasn't that hard, right? So right now, I'd like to create some taxonomies as well. Why? Because this way we'll have a possibility to classify and categorize our posts in groups and then use it for filtering later on. So follow to JetEngine, Taxonomies, Add New. Give a name to a taxonomy. Let's make it property type, for example, and choose our properties post type. Yep, it's just that simple. Also guys, I'd like to add a thumbnail to our taxonomy, so for that, let's add a new metafield, thumbnail, metafield name _thumbnail. Object type will be the same, but the field type will have to choose media, and then we can just simply click Add Taxonomy. Really simple. Okay, now we can go to Properties, Property Type, and add a new tag. So let it be villas, slug villas. No description is needed in this case, and let's add a thumbnail. Okay, cool. So as you can see, I did the same procedure with the other tags like houses, resorts, and other property types. As well as I added a few more taxonomies for the payment and meals. Okay, so right now, let's go ahead and add a new post. So click on Add New and fill in the post with the proper content. Okie dokie. So guys, as you might have guessed, I already filled out all the post data, so we could have the content to play around with and can surely proceed to our next steps. So guys, I hope that you are not bored, and as per our checklist, we're already halfway through, so good for us. And finally, we are getting to the fun part, building a listing item with the dynamic content for our map. And we'll be doing it in Elementor Page Builder, because why wouldn't we? Go to JetEngine, Listings, Add New. In Listing Source, choose Posts. In the From Post type, select our CPT properties. Give a name to the listing and let it be Map Listing Item, and select Elementor Editor and click Create Listing Item. So, first of all, I'd like to add a post thumbnail to my listing. What would I need to do in this case? Yeah, I actually could have used the dynamic image widget and customized its settings, right? But today, I'd like to show you another workaround. So let's add a new one-column section. Set the height to, let's say, 150 pixels. Now, let's open the Style tab and click on the Classic Background type. Good. Let's go ahead and click on the Dynamic tags and choose Custom Image option. Now, click on the little spanner over here and select the field Post Thumbnail. So now we can customize our image. Position will be center, no repeat, and size cover. Okay. So now I'd like to add some additional info like price per night, address, and some basic things like quantity of rooms, baths, and general capacity of the property. So let's add a new section and choose the background color white for it. Now, let's search for the dynamic field widget, drag and drop it to the new section, choose the source metadata, metafield price per 1 day/night. Okay, good. And now let's enable the filter field output option and select format number from the drop-down list. Also, we can customize the field output as well. I'll add a $sign in front of the string and /night after it. Okay, good. And right now, let's style it up a little bit. So let's change the color to dark blue and adjust the typography. So family pop-ins, size 14 pixels, weight bold, and line height, let it be 18 pixels. Okay, great. So now let's add another dynamic field widget for the address. So choose source metadata, metafield address under the properties line. Okay, great. And now we can style it up as well. So let's go to the Style tab, choose font color gray, family pop-ins, size 10, weight 300, and line height 14 pixels. Okay, cool. Looks nice to me. So what do we have left? Yes, that's right, the basic info that I was talking about earlier. So let's add an inner column widget under the address and add a third column to it. Right now, let's search for the dynamic field widget one more time and drop it into the first column. Now, I'll duplicate it twice and place it into the second and the third column as well. So, the source metadata, metafield rooms. For the second one, the source metadata, metafield baths, and source metadata, metafield guests. Okay, so let's add the SVG icons to our fields. So bed for the first one, bath for the second one, and a person for the third one. Now let's adjust the font color and typography for our widget as well. So color dark blue, family pop-ins, size pretty much the same, 14 pixels, weight 400, line height 14 pixels. And to speed up the process, I'll simply copy the style and paste it into the other two widgets. Great! Now let's check the listing settings. So let's make the item clickable, so simply toggle on this option. And also, I'll toggle on the option Open in the new window. Okay, great, so now we can click Publish. Okie dokie guys, so we've set up the Maps module settings. We created custom post type with metafields, added taxonomies to it, and of course built a listing item for our dynamic map. Now, what we have to do is simply add our map to the page or template, whatever is more comfortable for you. Let's go to Pages, Add New. I'll name it Catalog Map, click Publish, and add it with Elementor. Okay, first of all, I'd like to adjust the page settings. For that, click on Cogwheel, enable Hide Title option, and choose the page layout Elementor full width. Okay, that's much better. So right now, let's add a new section and set the content width to 1300. Now let's search for the Map Listing Widget and place it into the new section. Select Map Listing Item from the drop-down list. So guys, basically, you can choose any listing that you've created before, but only the post types with the address meta field will be displayed. So right now, let's enter the address meta field, which is _address, and it is 100% the same as the one that we entered in the JetEngine dashboard. Remember? Now, going further, we can adjust the map height to, let's say, 800 pixels. Then we can set up the quantity of posts to show, so let's make it 50, for example. And also, we can detect the map center automatically or customize it ourselves. So for that, simply enter the name of the city that you would like to show. And guys, let me know in the comments, why do you think I entered this particular city? Okay, so let's detect it automatically. Now, over here, you can add a custom map style using the Snazzy Maps service. And as you can see, here they have tons of different map styles to use. Okay, good. So I'll use this one. Looks pretty nice. Now let's proceed to the marker settings. Here you can choose one of 3 marker types: image, icon, and text. It's quite clear what to do with the image and the icon, so I'd like to use the text marker type to show you some tricky things. So in marker label, you can choose post title, static text, and meta field. So I'll use the last one. In meta field, just as usual, you have all the different options to pick. So I'll choose price per 1 day/night, and let's also select callback value for it, so it will be format number. And also let's customize the output as well. So I'll enter the $sign in front of the string. Okay, great. And before we go any further, let's go to the Style tab and style it up a little bit so it looks nicer. So first, I'd like to change the typography. So family Poppins, size, let's make it 10 pixels, weight 600, and line height 15 pixels. Okay, good. Now let's change the background color to orange and the text color to white. Wonderful. And now I actually want my markers to be round, so let's play around with the paddings and the radius as well. Okay, so I don't need the pin. So to remove it, simply set the pin size to 0. Okay, and now let's add the box shadow to it as well to make it look nicer. So let's change the color to kind of light orangish, remove the blur, and add the spread. Okay, wonderful. So I think it looks pretty cool. Let's proceed further. So going back to the Content tab, here we have a possibility to adjust the pop-up settings. But guys, first we have to click Publish and refresh the page, because otherwise the pop-up will not be displayed properly. So here we can set the marker pop-up width. Let's set it to 230. Also, you can adjust the vertical offset. 40 is enough. And also you can add a pop-up pin to it as well if you need one. Guys, just so you know, all the content of the pop-up is displayed according to the listing that we created in the previous tab. And just like we said in the listing settings, it is clickable. So once the user clicks on it, he'll be redirected to the post single page. So here in the post query, you have the opportunity to query the posts just like you do in the listing grid widget. So for example, I'll query the posts by the posts and author parameters. And the last setting in the content tab is the widget visibility, where you can hide the widget if the query is empty or show it always. So let's check how our map listing works on the front end. So guys, as you can see, we can kind of navigate through the map using those markers and check out the available properties for rent. Looks pretty good, but I think that we're missing something. We were talking about JetSmartFilters plugin earlier. So guys, let's go back to the dashboard and play around with the filters. Okay guys, so now you do know how to customize the map listing widget as well as how to adjust the content settings in it. And I'm also pretty sure that you will be able to style it up even better than any top web design companies. So if you are still watching this video, it means that you are ready for the last step of our tutorial. Let's create a filter and then apply it to our catalog map page to see how it works in combo with JetEngine Maps Listings module. Go to Smart Filters, Add New. Add the title of the filter, let it be Types of Housing. Filter label and active filter label will stay the same, so types of housing for both of them. Now, filter type, I'll choose Select. Data source, Taxonomies. And taxonomy, let's add the one that we created together during the third step, so property type. And guys, basically that's pretty much it. Now we can click Publish and add another filter for the check-in and check-out info. Add the title, let it be Date Range Filter, and filter labels will stay the same. So in the filter type, let's select Date Range. Filter by metadate. I'll add the placeholders as well, so let it be the 1st of June and the 1st of June for the second one as well. Now let's set the query variable. As you can see down here in the notes, we have to enter the check-in _ checkout for it to work properly. Now let's click Publish and add another filter for guests. So click on Add New, add the title and filter labels, and in the filter type, let's choose Select, Data Source. Let's select the manual input and add the options. Okay, good. Now let's enter the placeholder and proceed to the query settings. So in the query variable, let's enter the corresponding metafield key _ guests, the one that we have in our CBT, and set the comparison operator to greater than or equals. Now we can click Publish and proceed to our catalog map page. Okay, great. So now let's add a new column to our section and place an intersection widget on the left. So let's set the widget space 10 pixels, padding 25, 40, and 40, and 40. Okay, and let's also add a background color to it right away. Okay, good. Now we can simply add the widgets to our page. So let's start with the heading. The title will be Search, HTML tag H3. Now let's go to the Style tab. So the color will be white. So Family Poppins, size 24 pixels. Let's make it bold and line height 40 pixels. Okay, great. And now let's also set the margin. Wonderful. So right now let's add another heading for the types of housing. So title types of housing. Let's go to the Style tab. So the color is gray. Family Poppins, size 12 pixels. So let's make it 400. Uppercase and 20 pixels line height. And also we can adjust the padding as well. Wonderful. So right now, let's search for the Select Filter widget, drag it onto the page. In the Select Filter field, choose Types of Housing and pay attention to it, guys. Apply it for JetEngine maps. Okay, so over here we can decide which apply type to use. I'll stick with the mixed and click on the Apply button. Let's go to the Style tab, and here I'll set the filter width to 100. Typography, so Family Poppins, just as usual. 18 pixels of size, 600 of weight, and 18 pixels of line height. Now the text color will be dark blue, the background color will be white, and let's also add the border type to it, solid. Play around with the radius a little bit and the padding as well. And also, guys, let's set the margin to it too. Okay, great. Now to speed up the process, let's duplicate the heading widget, change the title to Check In, adjust the positioning settings, so it will be custom width 53%. Now let's duplicate it one more time and change the title to Check Out and adjust the positioning settings as well. Okay, now let's search for the Date Range widget, drop it onto the page, and select Filter field, choose Date Range, and one more time apply it to JetEngine maps. Okay, so in the apply type, I'll leave it Ajax and enable Hide Apply button option. So right now, I'll speed up the process so you can just enjoy the music and watch what I do. Okay, so now let's duplicate our heading widget and change the title to Guests. Wonderful. And also let's duplicate our Select Filter widget and choose Select Filter for Guests. Okay, great. And now, last but not the least, let's add the Apply button widget. And once again, choose JetEngine Maps from the drop-down list and add the label Search. Let's go to the style settings. So the family will be Poppins, size 16 pixels, weight 600, uppercase, and 16 pixels line height as well. Text color, let's change it to white and the background color to green. And let's play around with the border radius, padding, and on hover, let's make it kind of light green so it changes once the person hovers on the button. Okay, great. So now we can click on Update and preview the results to see our map in action. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative and useful for you and your projects. Don't hesitate to leave your comments down below and also share your ideas and suggestions on our GitHub page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done this yet to stay tuned for interesting videos and updates, and join our friendly Facebook community. Cheers, guys!